Hello and welcome to Viewpoint. My name is Volodymyr Sulhub, and right now to talk about Ukraine's visa-free prospects with the EU is joining us Minister of Foreign Affairs, Pavlo Klimkin. Mr. Klimkin, welcome to the program.
It's my pleasure.
Mr. Klimkin, on November the 10th, the delegation of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine was supposed to go to Brussels to discuss the progress of Ukraine and Ukrainian parliament adopting the necessary laws, the so-called visa-free laws. Obviously, the failure of the parliament to pass all the necessary laws made this trip impossible. It was postponed. So can you tell us, when is this trip scheduled and what do you expect out of this trip?
It's mainly a sort of technical format which normally functions at the level of experts. From our side, it's about Deputy Foreign Minister coordinating the whole activities from our side. Of course, in order to be prepared for the final report, and we all hope it should be final report on the 15th of December, we have to get everything on the table. And the process in our parliament, in Verkhovna Rada, about approving these laws is still going on, but it's not about just laws. It's about delivery. It's about institutional delivery. And if you have the best possible law, and it was in our history quite a few times, we have, best legal conditions for that, and not a sort of really committed implementation. So we need to improve the laws, and we need to start institutional implementation. For example, at least to foresee in the budget financial allocations for all which should work within the frame of these reforms.
So not just the laws themselves, but also the implementation. But Mr. Minister, what about the contents of the law? Because everybody's talking about the 10 laws which were necessary.
12, better to say, yes.
12 laws which were remaining for Ukraine to get on this action plan. But there were a lot of concerns about the contents of these laws. And just last Tuesday, when some of the laws were being adopted by the parliament, last-minute changes were introduced into these laws. And when we were talking on the very same day with the representative of the EU delegation to Ukraine, they said that, well, we're happy that the parliament has adopted these laws, but now we have to get the consolidated text. We need to have them translated, and our expert had to go through these laws. So how confident are you that these laws, the contents of the essence of these laws, is something which the EU was expecting from Ukraine?
Look, it's a sort of crucial point for me. We need all these reforms. Even without the whole framework of visa process, we need effective vehicles for tackling corruption. We need effective reform for civil security sector. We need effective treatment in the sphere of migration. And do we still need the famous Soviet passports without any kind of security around them? We need a real ID, as in all European countries. So actually, all what we've been doing within visa-free framework is needed for Ukraine. It's not just, the European Union that we've been doing reforms for the European Union, how I kept, hearing from different directions. And this is my first point. The second point, what we need, again, is to get on board good laws. Good laws in the sense not only, reflecting what we have in EU acquis communautaire, but also, if we are talking about corruption, it's about Greco within the frame of Council of Europe, what we're talking about FATF. We need effective corruption vehicle. And now we've been looking into the laws with all kinds of changes, where, of course, together with our European colleagues, with the European Commission, whether they fully in line with European legislation, and whether they're effective enough to do the job.
Yeah, obviously, the Ukrainian government and the Ukrainian MPs have been talking about the need to fight corruption for months, and well, the Euromaidan revolution, the whole revolution took place because the people did not want to keep up with the corrupt government anymore. They went onto the Maidan, and then the new government, when it came to power, it was promising to fight the corruption, yet the Ukrainian people did not see big results happening. So perhaps with the pressure from Ukraine's Western partners, this process will take place much faster.
Yeah, we did quite a lot. I still remember as a driver, the famous Ukrainian traffic police, and with all kind of bribes. And you remember the famous joke, if there is a, left turn here, yes, but you have to pay for that. And now, even with not enough experience for our new traffic police, is a wave of sympathy, is a wave of support for everyone. And we need to get all kind of institutional vehicles in place. Now what we've been working is anti-corruption prosecutor. Before the 1st of December, we will have it formally in place. The people chosen, and after that, the whole institutional process.
But again, even the anti-corruption prosecutor did not go without a scandal. Your ministry had quite a statement about the general prosecutor trying to control the process of selecting the anti-corruption prosecutors. So what are your relations with the general prosecutor's office right now?
Absolutely fine. My point is that in our public discussion, in our public contacts, we have to focus on the result. What we need is not just procedure. Procedure is important, no point about that. And we need fully transparent and effective procedure. But what we need at the end of the day, and what I've been working for, is an effective contact and real assistance from two sides, from our US friends and from our EU friends, to work together with our new institutional bodies, for example, US Department of Justice, Olaf, the famous agency tackling corruption within the European Union. In order to be both transparent and effective, we need to get on board all kind of experience from US and European Union. And it's actually the prerequisite that in the future we will have effective general inspection within the prosecutor service in order to understand how it's working. We need anti-corruption prosecutor. We need our bureau to work well, because now we have all kind of detectives, but we need to inject a kind of experience. And on the last presidential visit, even in Singapore, many people don't know about that. We agreed about Singaporean special assistant on how to teach our people, our detectives, to work with different people, to use this experience.
But, Mr. Minister, can we go back to the general prosecutor? Can we go back to the general prosecutor? There was a lot of criticism. There was even the criticism on the part of the U.S. friends, the Assistant Secretary of State on Eurasian Affairs, Ms. Victoria Nuland, outright criticized the general prosecutor. The U.S. ambassador to Ukraine specifically said that the general prosecutor is sabotaging the reforms. What are you hearing from Ukraine's EU friends? What are they saying about the general prosecutor? And for some reason, the president is not willing to dismiss him.
Again, the point, it's like, for the anti-corruption prosecutor service. It's not about one or two particular persons. It's about changing the way how the prosecutor service works. It's not about, famous post-Soviet model where we had the prosecutor service working for Yanukovych regime and simply supporting different kind of business interests. And we can't talk with that it's about one person, it's about the second person. It's about the whole way how to change the way the prosecutor services operates. I've been in very close contacts with our US friends, with our EU friends. And what we need, especially, look, it's a kind of division of labor. Now U.S. Has been very much helping to create the special general inspection within the prosecutor services. And I've been talking to Brussels, to all my partners there, about a special help to the future anti-corruption prosecutor. So it's a good division of labor. Here US, here EU, and it's exactly the point. We need these people here on the ground, not working, not just from Washington, from Brussels, but to be there, to work together with us in order to tackle all corruption challenges. And it's the only way how to get more effective.
Mr. Minister, can we switch gears here a little bit? On the January 1st, 2016, the provisional application of the EU-Ukraine free trade agreement is coming into force. However, it might be in jeopardy. The referendum, it might be in jeopardy because the referendum on the ratification of the agreement in the Netherlands is still to take place. And even though we know that the referendum is on advisory nature, if the people in the Netherlands vote no, this will obviously be a big blow to Ukraine. So what is Ukrainian government and what is your ministry in particular doing now to perhaps lobby Ukraine's interest in the Netherlands?
Look, it's a very good point from you, and I'm glad I can explain this point, because let us not mess up all these points. The future free trade agreement is, in a kind of bureaucratic language, community competence. It's not a competence of different EU member states. So what kind of result we will get in any sort of advisory referendum won't influence at all the future implementation of the free trade agreement. It's my first point. And we will start this implementation from the 1st of January, full stop. We will not, exercise any sort of changes for the way how the future free trade agreement will operate. It's my second point. And today, actually tomorrow, there will be a whole day of talking to Cecilia Malmström, EU Commissioner on Trade Affairs. And we will, somehow shape up the vision, how we will support the implementation. I've been to Denmark, I've been to Finland over weekend. We agreed, for example, with our Danish friends to create a special Danish investment facility to help small and medium enterprises to use the opportunity within FTA. So, and on the famous referendum now, it's all around in the media and a sort of high topic.
But what about the planned trip of the President Poroshenko to the Netherlands in the coming days?
Exactly.
Is it?
It's no. Obviously,
it's not a coincidence.
The idea has been agreed now for months. There is a special way now of interacting with our Dutch friends. It's mainly about Dutch assistance within EU agenda. It's probably a special sympathy because of MH17 tragedy. And it's important also in the sense to have presidential visit. I will go in the coming days also to The Hague, talking with my friend Bert Koenders about our shared, I wouldn't say common strategy, but shared strategy in this referendum, because it's not about Ukraine. It's even not about EU-Ukraine Association Agreement. It's about some people who are traditionally considered and perceived as Eurosceptics. And these people are behind this referendum. And this referendum is actually about the Dutch European policy. And we have to break this vision that this referendum is mainly about Ukraine. It's not actually, and it's my point.
Mr. Minister, and my final question, again, shifting gears here a little bit. After several months of peace and truce in eastern Ukraine, in the past several days, the fighting has intensified. Do you see this as a sign that Russia-backed militants are trying to violate the Minsk agreement yet again? And if so, if the fighting intensifies, it has intensified to the point that the President Poroshenko gave the permission to Ukrainian soldiers to shoot in return. So if this continues and if the fighting escalates, what are you planning to do about this?
We did not have...
On the international level?
Yes, we did not have any sustainable ceasefire. It was a very fragile process. We still have no confidence in the process, because what kind of confidence can we get without full access to Donbas? If we have every day cases, and we know about that, about hiding weapons, including heavy weapons, tanks, in mines and industrial facilities, if we have all kind of data about movements for the forces back in Donbas, we can't talk about any kind of real ceasefire. And it was the case 2 weeks ago, but it's the case now because of all kind of shellings, mortar shellings, but it's all hidden weapons in the sense of agreements reached in Minsk. And because of that, we should be vigilant. We talked about that in Berlin, in the Normandy Ministerial. We made a number of comments. I made a number of interviews, but also called practically all of my colleagues. Yesterday and before yesterday, I will keep doing it, informing them and briefing them about ongoing events. But especially in the run-up to the EU Foreign Affairs Council, I will definitely brief every one of my friends about ongoing events, because now the whole Minsk process, especially the withdrawal of weapons, is definitely jeopardized. And we have to talk about that in a very straightforward way.
Yeah, understood. Well, it looks like some very important tasks for you, Mr. Minister. Many thanks for finding the time to come and talk to us. We really appreciate this. This has been Volodymyr Sulhov for Viewpoint, together with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Pavlo Klimkin, talking about Ukraine's visa-free aspirations and the application of the free trade agreement with the EU. Thank you for watching us.
It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot for your interview.